Ambassador Ji-won Park stood before the Galactic Council chamber, her hands clasped behind her back. The room was massive, designed to hold representatives from 40 different species. Today, it felt like a courtroom. Her courtroom. Supreme Commander Thexlar of the Valorian Dominion towered at the center platform. His species stood nearly 3 meters tall, with blue-gray skin and 4 arms. The Valorians controlled 47 star systems. They had the largest military fleet in known space. Everyone feared them, everyone except Ji-won. "The human vessel destroyed our military ship," Thexlar announced, his voice booming through the chamber. "This is an act of war. We demand complete surrender of all human territories as payment for this insult." Ji-won kept her face calm. She had watched the video recordings 100 times. The human cargo ship had malfunctioned during a routine docking procedure. It had scraped against the Valorian vessel, causing minor hull damage. No injuries, no deaths, just paint and metal. "Supreme Commander," Ji-won said clearly, "the incident was accidental. We have offered full financial compensation. We have offered to repair your ship at our expense. We have apologized formally. What more do you require?" Thexlar's 4 arms spread wide. "Respect! You humans are children in galactic space. 15 years you have been here. Only 15 years. You control 3 small systems. We control 47. You will learn your place." The other council members shifted uncomfortably. The Seraphim representative, a small being with 6 legs, spoke up. "Perhaps both sides could reach a compromise. The humans have offered reasonable terms." "Reasonable?" Thexlar laughed. It sounded like rocks grinding together. "I do not negotiate with insects. The humans will surrender all their territories, or we will take them by force." Ji-won felt her heart rate increase, but her training held. She had grown up in Busan, where typhoons taught people to bend like bamboo in the wind. But bamboo that bent could also snap back. "We refuse," she said simply. The chamber fell silent. Species from across the galaxy stared at her. A few looked sympathetic. Most looked shocked. 1 or 2 looked sad, as if watching someone sign their own death warrant. Thexlar's eyes widened. "You refuse?" "We refuse," Ji-won repeated. "We will not surrender our homes because of an accident. We have offered fair compensation. If you want war over scratched paint, that is your choice." Thexlar's skin darkened with rage. "Then war it is. The Valorian Dominion formally declares war on the human species. We will crush you within 1 standard week. Your colonies will become ours. Your people will learn to serve or die." He turned to the council. "Let this be recorded. Let all species witness what happens to those who insult the Dominion." The council chamber erupted in quiet whispers. Ji-won noticed the Seraphim representative looked away, unable to watch. The Corthan ambassador, whose species had once fought the Valorians and lost, gave her a small nod of respect. Ji-won bowed slightly to the council. "Then it is recorded. The Valorian Dominion has declared war on humanity without just cause before all assembled witnesses." She paused, meeting Thexlar's eyes. "We will respond accordingly." She left the chamber with measured steps, her back straight. Only when she reached her private shuttle did she allow herself to move quickly. She sealed the door and opened the quantum communication channel to Earth. The face of Captain Min-ho Kang appeared on the screen. He was the coordinator of Human Defense Forces, a veteran who had served in 3 different Earth militaries before the space program began. "Ambassador Park," he said, "we received the automated alert. The Valorians declared war?" "Yes," Ji-won confirmed. "Supreme Commander Thexlar gave us no choice. He demands total surrender." Minho's face showed no emotion, but his eyes hardened. "Understood. What are your orders?" Ji-won took a breath. 15 years ago, when humanity first joined the galactic community, they had asked themselves a crucial question. What if someone attacks us? The galaxy seemed peaceful, but Earth's history taught hard lessons. Hope for peace, but prepare for war. Activate Protocol Death World, Jiwan said quietly. Minho nodded once. Confirmed. Protocol Death World is active. Every human ship, station, and colony is being notified now. The Valorian fleet is already moving, Jiwan continued. Intelligence suggests 300 warships heading toward our outer colonies. 300, Minho repeated. He almost smiled. They really don't know, do they? No, Jiwan agreed. They think we're weak because we're new. They think we're soft because we negotiate. They evolved on a low-gravity world where war means formal battles with rules. They have no idea what humans are. Minho began typing commands. Admiral Seo Yun Choi's fleet is ready. Our defensive positions are active. More importantly, our offensive positions are active. Jiwan understood. Humanity had not just built defensive forces. They had studied every galactic conflict for 15 years. They had learned every species' tactics, weaknesses, and strategies. They had asked themselves, how would we fight each of them? The Valorians were about to learn that humans came from Earth, a world with higher gravity than 90% of galactic planets, a world where predators hunted in packs, a world where nations had waged war for 10,000 years, developing strategies and weapons that the peaceful galaxy could not imagine. Captain Kang, Jiwan said formally. The Valorian Supreme Commander thinks this will be over in a week. Show him why that's correct. Minho's expression turned cold. With pleasure, Ambassador. I have one question. Rules of engagement? Jiwan thought of Thexelar's arrogance, his assumption that humans would simply surrender, his willingness to start a war over nothing. Minimum necessary force to achieve victory, she said. We are not monsters, but we are not victims either. End this quickly. End this decisively. Show the galaxy what happens when you mistake patience for weakness. Understood, Minho replied. All human forces are standing by. The Valorians will reach our outer defense perimeter in approximately 1 hour. 1 hour, Jiwan said. Then it begins. She closed the channel and sat back in her chair. Outside the shuttle window, she could see other species' ships departing the Council station. They were fleeing, expecting the Valorians to win quickly and not wanting to be associated with the losing side. Jiwan opened a personal channel to Earth to the Office of Unified Command. She recorded a simple message. They think we're soft. They think 15 years in space makes us children. They forget we survived 10,000 years on a death world. She paused. Show them what humans do when threatened. Show them what we really are. She sent the message and began her own journey back to human space. The war had begun. But if her people did their job correctly, it would not last long. Supreme Commander Thexelar wanted to teach humanity a lesson. He was about to learn one instead. The hardest lesson the galaxy would ever witness. Never start a war with humans unless you are prepared to end it in 5 hours or less, because that was all the time humanity would need. Captain Minho Kang watched the tactical display with cold focus. Red markers showed the Valorian fleet approaching human space, 300 warships moving in perfect formation. They looked confident. They looked unstoppable. They looked like targets. Status report, Minho ordered. Lieutenant Hae Jin Song spoke from her station. All human colonies have activated defensive protocols. Civilian populations are secured in underground shelters. Military forces are at full readiness. Admiral Choi's fleet is in position. Outer defense satellites? Armed and tracking, sir. The Valorians don't know they're there. Minho nodded. Humanity had learned early that galactic species fought wars very differently than Earth nations did. Galactic wars were formal affairs. Fleets met in open space. Ships fired at each other until one side retreated. Civilians were never targeted. Deception was considered dishonorable. Humans had no such limitations. Open channel to Admiral Choi, Min-ho commanded. The screen flickered. Admiral Seo Yun Choi appeared, her silver hair pulled back tightly. She sat in the command chair of the HMS Incheon, humanity's largest warship. Behind her, the bridge crew worked with quiet efficiency. "Captain Kang," she said, "I assume you're not calling to wish me luck." "The Valorian fleet will reach outer perimeter in 30 minutes, Min-ho said. "Ambassador Park has authorized Protocol Death World. Minimum necessary force to achieve complete victory." Seo Yun's lips curved slightly. "Finally, I've been waiting 15 years to see if our theories were correct." "Theories?" Min-ho asked. "Whether galactic species would recognize Earth military doctrine when they saw it," Seo Yun explained. "Whether they would understand what they were facing before it was too late." She leaned forward. "Orders, Captain." "Engage when ready," Min-ho said. "Show them what humans learned from 10,000 years of warfare. Show them why you don't attack a Death World species." "With pleasure," Seo Yun replied. "Incheon out." The channel closed. Min-ho pulled up the intelligence reports on Valorian military tactics. They were predictable. They relied on superior numbers and heavy armor. Their ships were large and powerful, but slow. They expected enemies to fight honorably, to meet them in open battle. Humans had other plans. The tactical display updated. The Valorian fleet had crossed into human-monitored space. They were moving steadily forward, not even attempting stealth or caution. Why would they? They had 300 ships against humanity's estimated 50. What they didn't know was that humans didn't fight fair. "Activate the mines," Min-ho ordered. Lieutenant Song pressed commands. "Fusion mines active. They're tracking the Valorian fleet now." The mines were invisible to standard sensors. They drifted in space like debris, using minimal power. Only when Valorian ships came close did they activate, latching onto hulls with magnetic grapplers. They didn't explode immediately. That would have been wasteful. Instead, they waited. On the tactical display, Min-ho watched the Valorian fleet continue forward. Small red dots appeared around several ships, marking where mines had attached. The Valorians showed no sign of noticing. "First contact in 5 minutes," Song reported. Min-ho opened a fleet-wide channel. "All ships, this is Captain Kang. The Valorians think this will be easy. They think we're weak because we're new to space. They forget that we come from Earth. They forget that humans have fought wars since before we had written language. Show them their mistake. Kang out." The channel closed. Min-ho sat back and waited. In the outer rim of human space, Commander Park Ji-hyun commanded a patrol group of 5 small human ships. His vessels were fast, maneuverable, built for speed rather than heavy armor. Valorian doctrine would call them scouts, not real warships. Valorian doctrine was about to be proven very wrong. "Valorian battle group approaching," his sensor officer reported. 20 ships, heavy class. "Let them see us," Ji-hyun ordered. "Make it look accidental." His ships moved into scanner range, then appeared to panic. They turned and ran, broadcasting distress signals. The Valorian battle group immediately changed course to pursue. "They're following," the tactical officer confirmed. "Of course they are," Ji-hyun said calmly. "Predator species always chase running prey. Bring them into the kill zone." His ships fled deeper into an asteroid field. The Valorians followed confidently, their larger ships slower but unstoppable. They thought they were hunting. They were wrong. "Mines activated," the weapons officer announced. The fusion mines attached to Valorian hulls detonated simultaneously, not with massive explosions, but with precise, focused energy bursts. They punched through armor at key points, sensor arrays, weapon systems, engine manifolds. 7 Valorian ships went dark immediately, their systems destroyed. The others scattered in confusion. "All ships, weapons free," Ji-hyun commanded. "Attack pattern Omega." His 5 ships spun around and attacked. But they didn't attack like galactic species did, with formal broadsides and shield exchanges. They attacked like wolves, like sharks, like the predators that humans evolved alongside. They targeted the blinded ships first, concentrating fire on one vessel at a time. They used the asteroids as cover, appearing and disappearing too fast for Valorian targeting systems to track. They fired kinetic kill vehicles, simple chunks of metal accelerated to incredible speeds. No shields could stop solid matter moving at relativistic velocities. One Valorian ship exploded, then another, then a third. The remaining Valorian ships tried to retreat, but Ji-hyun's group was faster. They herded the enemy ships deeper into the asteroid field, where larger Valorian vessels couldn't maneuver effectively. 47 minutes after first contact, all 20 Valorian ships were destroyed or disabled. Ji-hyun's group had taken minor damage to one vessel. 0 casualties. "Well," Ji-hyun said to his crew, "that was almost disappointing. I expected more of a challenge." He opened a channel to Captain Kang. "Outer patrol to command. First Valorian battle group eliminated, awaiting further orders." Back in command, Minho watched the tactical display update. Other patrol groups were reporting similar results. The Valorian fleet was being torn apart, but Supreme Commander Thexlar was not retreating. Instead, he was sending more ships forward. "He thinks it was luck," Lieutenant Song observed. "He's sending 3 more battle groups to our position." "Let him," Minho said. "Open channel to all forces. Tell them to use the recordings. I want the Valorians to see exactly how they're dying." This was psychological warfare, another human specialty. The galactic species fought with honor, with dignity. Humans fought to win. Human ships began broadcasting the battle recordings to Valorian frequencies. They sent sensor logs showing how easy it had been to destroy their ships. They sent lists of destroyed vessels, names of crews lost. They sent the message, "You are not hunters here. You are prey." In the Valorian flagship, Supreme Commander Thexlar watched the recordings with growing horror. His people were being slaughtered, not in honorable combat, but in ambushes, traps, and coordinated strikes that appeared from nowhere. "What are these tactics?" his second officer asked. "They fight without honor. They use deception and tricks." "They fight to win," Thexlar said quietly. His pride began to crack. "Send all remaining battle groups forward. We will overwhelm them with numbers." But even as he gave the order, he felt the first touch of doubt. The humans had been in space for only 15 years. How could they fight like this? Where had they learned such ruthless efficiency? He didn't know that humans had studied war for 10,000 years. He didn't know that Earth military academies taught students about Sun Tzu, Alexander, Hannibal, Napoleon, Patton. He didn't know that humans had written entire libraries about how to defeat superior forces through strategy, deception, and ruthless application of violence. He was about to learn. The first hour of the war ended with 83 Valorian ships destroyed and human casualties at 0. The galaxy was watching through long-range sensors, shocked into silence. Admiral Seo-Yun Choi sat in her command chair and smiled. "Captain Kang," she said over the comm channel, "I believe the Valorians are beginning to understand their mistake." "Only beginning," Minho replied. "Let's finish their education." Lieutenant Hae-Jin Song moved silently through the Valorian command station's maintenance corridor. Behind her, 6 other members of her special operations team followed with practiced precision. They wore stealth suits that bent light around them, making them nearly invisible. "Security checkpoint ahead," whispered Corporal Taewon Chen through the team comm. "2 guards." Hae-Jin raised her fist, and the team halted. She studied the guards through her helmet display. Valorians were big, strong, evolved on a world where physical power mattered. But they were slow compared to humans. Their reflexes were designed for low gravity. "Non-lethal takedown," Hae-Jin ordered. "We need this station functional." She moved forward like water, fluid and silent. The guards never saw her coming. 2 precise strikes to nerve clusters, and both Valorians collapsed unconscious. Her team caught them before they hit the floor, preventing any noise. "Clear," He-Jin reported, proceeding to command center. 3 hours into the war, and humanity had shifted from defense to offense. Admiral Choi's fleet was no longer waiting for Valorians to come to them. They were hunting. This command station was key to Valorian military coordination. It processed fleet communications, managed supply lines, and coordinated battle groups across 3 sectors. Supreme Commander Thexelar used it to direct his forces. He-Jin's mission was simple: take it over, not destroy it. Control it. They reached the command center's main entrance. Through a small window, He-Jin could see dozens of Valorian officers working at stations, managing their fleet. They looked stressed. 3 hours of combat had not gone as planned. "Breaching charges ready," Taewon reported. "Negative," He-Jin said. "We're not breaching. Open a channel to the station commander." Her communications officer, Private Min-Seo Park, looked surprised but complied. A moment later, a Valorian face appeared on their portable display. He looked annoyed. "Who is this?" "This is a secure military channel." "Commander," He-Jin interrupted calmly, "my team is currently standing outside your command center. We have taken control of your life support, your weapon systems, and your communication arrays. We can kill everyone on this station in approximately 40 seconds, or you can surrender and everyone lives." The Valorian commander's face went pale. "Impossible. Our security is designed to stop galactic species," He-Jin finished. "We are human. We don't fight like galactic species. You have 30 seconds to decide." She could see him looking at his security monitors, seeing nothing. His scanners showed no intruders, but He-Jin knew he was also seeing the station status reports, now showing that critical systems were indeed compromised. "How did you—" he began. 20 seconds, He-Jin said. The commander looked at his officers, then back at the display. "We surrender. Please don't hurt my crew." "Open the doors," He-Jin ordered. "Have all personnel place their weapons on the ground and move to the far side of the room. Anyone who cooperates will not be harmed." The doors opened. He-Jin's team moved in smoothly, securing the room in seconds. The Valorian officers stared at them in shock, unable to believe that 7 humans had infiltrated their most secure station. "Excellent," He-Jin said. "Now, we're going to use your communication system to send some updates to your fleet. You're going to help us." Meanwhile, in open space, Admiral Seo Yun Choi was demonstrating why human naval tactics terrified the galaxy. Her fleet didn't fight in formation. They didn't engage in traditional ship-to-ship combat. Instead, they used tactics that Earth navies had developed over centuries: submarine wolf packs, carrier strike groups, missile saturation attacks. The Valorian fleet tried to engage her in direct combat. They formed their traditional battle lines, shields forward, weapons ready. It looked impressive. It was also useless. Seo Yun's ships never stayed still long enough to be targeted. They appeared from behind planets, fired, and disappeared before Valorian weapons could lock on. They used gravity wells to slingshot around moons, building incredible speed. They launched swarms of AI-guided missiles that adapted to enemy countermeasures in real time. "Valorian Battle Group Delta attempting to flank us," her tactical officer reported. "Let them," Seo Yun said. "Springtrap Omega-7. What looked like a vulnerable human cargo ship suddenly revealed itself as a weapons platform. Dozens of missile pods deployed, launching a coordinated strike at the flanking Valorian ships. At the same moment, 3 human destroyers emerged from the asteroid field behind them. The Valorian ships found themselves trapped in a crossfire, exactly where Seo Yun wanted them. "This is too easy," she muttered. "They fight like they're on a parade ground, not a battlefield." Her first officer, Commander Jae-Sung Lee, nodded. Their entire military doctrine assumes the enemy will fight honorably. They have no defense against asymmetric warfare. Earth learned about asymmetric warfare thousands of years ago, Seo Yun said. We perfected it. They never stood a chance. Back on the captured command station, Hyojin was putting her plan into action. The Valorian communication system was now under human control. She began sending false orders to Valorian fleet groups. Battle Group Epsilon was ordered to reinforce a position that didn't need reinforcement. Battle Group Zeta was told to hold a sector where no humans were present. Supply ships were redirected away from areas where they were desperately needed. But Hyojin's real masterstroke was subtle. She began broadcasting actual human fleet positions to the Valorians. Real, accurate data. Lieutenant, Tae-Wan said quietly, you're telling them where our ships are. Won't that help them? Hyojin smiled. Watch. The Valorian fleet received the information and moved to intercept human forces. But when they arrived, they found the human ships were no longer where the data showed. The information was accurate when sent, but humans moved too fast. By the time Valorians arrived, humans were elsewhere. This created a devastating psychological effect. The Valorians received accurate intelligence that became useless by the time they acted on it. It made them doubt all their information. It made them hesitate. And in combat, hesitation killed. All Valorian battle groups are now operating with reduced efficiency, Mincio reported. Their communication network is degrading. They're starting to lose coordination. Perfect, Hyojin said. She opened a channel to Captain Kang. Special Operations Team Alpha to command. Valorian command station secured. We now control their primary communication hub. Minho Kang's face appeared on the display. Excellent work, Lieutenant. How many casualties? 0 on both sides, sir. The station commander was reasonable. Good. Keep it that way. We're not here to commit genocide. We're here to win a war. Understood, sir. In the Valorian flagship, Supreme Commander Thexelar was beginning to understand the magnitude of his error. His fleet was being destroyed piece by piece. His communication network was compromised. His officers were reporting tactics they had never seen before, couldn't defend against. They're not fighting us, his strategic officer said, voice shaking. They're hunting us, like we're animals. Thexelar watched another battle group get destroyed on his tactical display. The humans appeared, struck, and vanished before his ships could respond. They used weapons he didn't understand, tactics that seemed impossible. Where did they learn to fight like this? He demanded. An intelligence officer spoke up nervously. Sir, I've been reviewing Earth historical records. Their species has been at war continuously for 10,000 years. They have fought thousands of conflicts, developed millions of tactical variations. They have entire academic institutions dedicated solely to studying warfare. Thexelar felt cold. What? Earth is a Class 9 death world, sir. High gravity, extreme climate variations, multiple competing predator species. Humans evolved as persistence hunters. They chase prey until it collapses from exhaustion. They fight in packs with coordinated tactics, and they have been fighting each other for their entire recorded history. We attacked a death world species, Thexelar said quietly. We declared war on predators? The intelligence officer nodded. Yes, sir. And they have been preparing for this scenario since joining galactic civilization. They studied our tactics. They identified our weaknesses. They built weapons and strategies specifically designed to counter us. Thexelar sat down heavily. Around him, his bridge crew worked frantically, but he could see the fear in their eyes. They were losing. Badly. How many ships have we lost? He asked. 147 confirmed destroyed, sir. 73 disabled. The humans have lost 4 ships, all from accidents during maneuvering. Not from combat? No, sir. They haven't lost a single ship to our weapons. Thexlar closed his eyes. 3 hours. In 3 hours, the humans had destroyed or disabled more than 2/3 of his fleet, and they had done it while barely taking casualties. This wasn't a war. This was an extermination. Open a channel to the Galactic Council, Thexlar said quietly. Request emergency mediation. Sir, his first officer protested, we still have ships. We can still fight. For what? Thexlar asked. So more of our people can die? Look at the tactical displays. Study their patterns. The humans aren't even using their full strength yet. They're testing us, learning our responses. This is practice for them. He stood up, straightening his uniform. I will not lead our people to complete destruction because I was too proud to admit a mistake. But even as he gave the order, Admiral Seo Yun Choi was preparing the final phase of her operation. The Valorians thought they had seen the worst of human capabilities. They were wrong. Admiral Seo Yun Choi stood before the main view screen of the HMS Incheon as her fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel. Before them hung the Valorian homeworld, a beautiful blue-green planet surrounded by massive orbital stations and the remaining Valorian Supreme Fleet. 132 warships had gathered here for a last stand. Everything Thexlar had left. All ships report ready, Admiral, Commander Jae-Sung Lee said. Human fleet at full combat readiness. Seo Yun studied the enemy formation. They were arranged in a defensive sphere around their homeworld, shields at maximum, every weapon system active. They looked desperate. They looked determined. They looked defeated. Open a channel, Seo Yun ordered. Broadcast to all Valorian ships and their homeworld. I want everyone to hear this. The communication officer nodded. Channel open, Admiral. Seo Yun took a breath. This is Admiral Seo Yun Choi of the Human Defense Fleet, commanding the Unified Earth Forces. I am speaking to Supreme Commander Thexlar and all Valorian military personnel. On the Valorian flagship, Thexlar heard her voice. It was calm, professional, without anger or hatred. Somehow that made it worse. 5 hours ago, your commander declared war on humanity, Seo Yun continued. He demanded our complete surrender over an accidental collision. We refused. You attacked our territories, threatening our colonies and people. She paused. In response, we have destroyed 211 of your warships. We have disabled 73 more. We have taken control of your primary command station, your communication networks, and your supply routes. We have done this while suffering 0 combat casualties. Thexlar closed his eyes. Hearing it stated so plainly made it real in a way that tactical displays never could. You now have a choice, Seo Yun said. Complete, unconditional surrender. Your military will be dissolved. Your leadership will face trial before the Galactic Council for warmongering. You will pay reparations to humanity for the unprovoked attack. But your people, your civilians, your world will be spared. Her voice became harder. Or you refuse, and we will demonstrate the full extent of human military capability. We have been restraining ourselves, Commander Thexlar. We have been showing mercy. But if you force us to continue, we will end this war in a way that the galaxy will never forget. You have 5 minutes to respond. The channel closed. On the Valorian flagship, Thexlar's officers turned to him, waiting for orders. She's bluffing, the weapons officer said. They can't destroy our entire fleet. We still outnumber them. Do we? Thexlar asked quietly. He brought up the tactical analysis his intelligence team had prepared. They have destroyed 2/3 of our forces in 5 hours. They have not revealed their full capabilities. Every time we think we understand their tactics, they show us something new. He looked at his crew. These are not the simple newcomers we thought they were. These are apex predators who have been pretending to be peaceful, and we gave them a reason to stop pretending. Sir, your orders? The first officer asked. Thexlar stood tall. His pride wanted to fight, to go down with honor rather than surrender. But he thought of the civilians on the planet below. Millions of Valorians who had nothing to do with his decision to declare war. "Refuse the surrender," he said quietly, "but prepare evacuation protocols for the homeworld. If I'm wrong and they can be stopped, we fight. If I'm right, and they truly have been holding back, at least our people will survive." "Refuse?" the first officer said, shocked. "Sir, they'll destroy us." "Yes," Thexlar agreed, "and the galaxy needs to see it. They need to see what happens when you attack humans. Maybe then, no one else will make my mistake." He opened the channel. "Admiral Choi, this is Supreme Commander Thexlar. I refuse your surrender terms. The Valorian Dominion does not bow to threats. If you want our world, come and take it." On the Incheon, Seo Yun sighed. He chose pride over sense. "Very well. Activate Ragnarok Protocol." Captain Minho Kang's voice came through from Earth Command. "Admiral, are you certain? Ragnarok has never been tested in actual combat." "The commander wants to see our full capability," Seo Yun said. "Let's show him. But remember, minimum casualties. We're here to end a war, not commit genocide." "Understood," Minho replied. "Ragnarok Protocol is authorized. All human forces, execute on Admiral Choi's command." Seo Yun looked at her tactical officer. "Begin." What happened next would be studied by military academies across the galaxy for the next 1,000 years. Every human ship in the fleet activated systems that the Valorians had never seen, weapons that Earth had developed but never deployed, waiting for a moment like this. Electromagnetic pulse missiles launched first, not exploding, but creating massive waves of energy that washed over Valorian ships. Shields designed to stop kinetic weapons and energy beams were useless against electromagnetic warfare. Systems flickered and died across the Valorian fleet. Then came the precision strikes. Human ships had been mapping every Valorian vessel for 5 hours, identifying weak points, targeting systems, and critical junctions. Now they exploited that knowledge with surgical accuracy. Missiles threaded through defensive fire to strike specific points on ship hulls. Not explosives designed to destroy, but shaped charges that punched through armor to disable power relays, weapon systems, and engine manifolds. Each strike was calculated to cripple, not kill. Laser communications were severed, power grids were disrupted, weapons went offline. Within seconds, Valorian ships began going dark, their systems failing one by one. But the most devastating weapon was information warfare. Human hackers, the best that Earth had trained over 15 years, launched coordinated cyber attacks on every Valorian computer system simultaneously. They didn't destroy data, they didn't delete files. Instead, they took control. Valorian targeting computers suddenly refused to lock onto human ships. Navigation systems displayed false coordinates. Communication arrays broadcast only static. Even the life support systems flickered, creating panic without actually failing. And through it all, human ships moved like ghosts, their stealth systems activated to full capacity. They appeared on sensors for microseconds, struck with perfect precision, and vanished before Valorian gunners could respond. In 23 minutes, the entire Valorian Supreme Fleet was neutralized, not destroyed, not annihilated, simply rendered completely powerless, floating in space with full crew complements but zero combat capability. On the flagship, Thexlar sat in darkness as emergency lighting flickered on. Every system was dead. His weapons wouldn't fire. His engines wouldn't respond. His communication array broadcast nothing but a loop of Admiral Choi's voice. "This is what restraint looks like, Commander. This is what mercy looks like. We could have destroyed you. We chose not to." Across the Valorian fleet, the same realization spread. The humans had defeated them without killing them. They had demonstrated such overwhelming superiority that resistance was pointless, but they had done it while preserving Valorian lives. It was the most humiliating and most merciful victory in galactic history. Seo Yun opened a channel to the Valorian homeworld directly. This is Admiral Choi to all Valorian civilians. Your military has been defeated. Your fleet is disabled. But you are safe. We do not make war on civilians. We do not destroy worlds. Your leaders started this war over pride and arrogance. We are ending it with strength and mercy. She paused. Any Valorian ship that wishes to evacuate military personnel and return them safely to your world may do so. We will not interfere. We will not attack. We have proven our point. On the planet below, millions of Valorians watched in their homes as the human fleet hovered in orbit. They saw their mighty military floating helplessly in space. They saw the power of the human fleet, weapons charged but not firing. They saw that humans could have destroyed everything but chose not to. In the Galactic Council chamber, species from across known space watched the live feeds in stunned silence. The Seraphim representative spoke first, his voice shaking. 5 hours, he whispered. They ended a war in 5 hours. Against the galaxy's largest military power, and they did it without becoming monsters. The Corthan ambassador, whose people had once fought the Valorians and lost, stood up slowly. The humans didn't just defeat the Valorian dominion. They defeated the entire concept of Valorian supremacy. They did in 5 hours what the rest of us couldn't do in centuries. Ambassador Ji-Wan Park, watching from her shuttle, allowed herself a small smile. She opened a channel to Admiral Choi. Well done, Admiral. Bring our people home. With pleasure, Ambassador, Seo Yun replied, though I think we'll stay here a few days, just to make sure the lesson is learned. On the Valorian flagship, Thexlar finally accepted the truth. He opened the emergency channel, the one that worked on backup power. Admiral Choi, he said, his voice heavy with defeat. I surrender, unconditionally. I will face trial. I will accept all terms. Please, just spare my people. Seo Yun's response was immediate. Your people were never in danger, Commander. Only your military. Only those who chose to fight. That's the difference between us. You declared war on an entire species. We declared war on your military alone. Prepare to be boarded, she continued. Human forces will secure your ships and ensure safe return of all personnel. Anyone who cooperates will be treated with respect and dignity. You are defeated, not our enemies. Silence fell across Valorian space. The war was over. 5 hours after it began, complete victory had been achieved, and the galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again. 3 days after the 5-hour war ended, the Galactic Council convened for an emergency session. Every species sent representatives. Every news network across known space broadcast the proceedings. The chamber was packed with beings who wanted to understand how the galaxy had changed so completely in such a short time. Ambassador Ji-Wan Park stood at the speaker's podium, her posture calm and professional. Beside her, holographic displays showed detailed records of everything that had happened. Honored council members, she began, I am here to present humanity's official report on the conflict with the Valorian Dominion. I want to be absolutely clear about the sequence of events. The first hologram activated, showing the docking incident that started everything. A human cargo vessel experienced a technical malfunction during routine docking procedures at Galactic Station 7. The malfunction caused minor damage to a Valorian military ship. No injuries occurred. No deaths occurred. The damage was superficial. She paused, letting that sink in. We immediately offered full financial compensation. We offered to repair the damage at our expense. We apologized formally through proper diplomatic channels. By galactic law and custom, this should have resolved the matter. The next hologram showed Supreme Commander Thexlar before the Council, making his demands. Instead, Supreme Commander Thexlar demanded the complete surrender of all human territories. When we refused to surrender our homes over an accident, he declared war before this assembled council. All of you witnessed it. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Several species shifted uncomfortably, remembering how they had watched in silence, expecting humanity to be crushed. What happened next, G1 continued, was not humanity choosing war. It was humanity responding to an unprovoked attack with the minimum force necessary to achieve complete victory and ensure our survival. The holograms showed battle recordings, tactical displays, and the final confrontation at the Valorian homeworld. The Council watched in silence as humanity's military capabilities were laid bare. We destroyed or disabled 284 Valorian warships, G1 stated. We achieved complete military victory in 5 hours. And we did this while suffering 0 combat casualties and while deliberately minimizing Valorian casualties. She turned to face the Council directly. Let me be very clear about something. We could have destroyed the Valorian homeworld. We could have annihilated their civilian population. We had the capability, the opportunity, and by the laws of war, even the justification. But we didn't. Because that's not who humans are. The Seraphim representative raised a tentacle. Ambassador Park, your military capabilities far exceed anything we imagined. Why did humanity hide this strength? We didn't hide it, G1 replied. We simply didn't advertise it. When humanity joined the galactic community 15 years ago, we studied every species, every conflict, every tactical doctrine. We asked ourselves one question. How do we defend ourselves if someone attacks us? She smiled slightly. The answer was to prepare thoroughly, while hoping we would never need to use that preparation. We built defenses, we trained our forces, we developed strategies, but we always preferred peace. The Valorian Dominion forced us to show what we're capable of when peace becomes impossible. A new face appeared on the hologram. Supreme Commander Thexlar in human custody. He looked smaller somehow, diminished not by physical restraint, but by the weight of his failure. The commander will face trial before this council for warmongering and unprovoked aggression, G1 said. We defer to the council's justice system for his punishment, but we want something made clear. The Valorian people are not our enemies. They never were. Only their military leadership chose this path. The hologram changed to show scenes from the Valorian homeworld, human medical teams working alongside Valorian doctors, human engineers helping repair damaged infrastructure, Lieutenant Hyojin Song's team coordinating with Valorian officials to ensure smooth transition of government. We are currently assisting Valorian civilians, G1 explained, providing humanitarian aid, medical support, and technical expertise. We want them to recover from this conflict, not suffer under its consequences. The Corthan ambassador stood. Ambassador Park, what are humanity's intentions now? With such military power, you could conquer systems easily. You could build an empire. G1 shook her head firmly. We don't want an empire. We never did. Earth's history taught us that empires built on conquest always fall. We want something different. She activated another hologram, showing a proposed treaty framework. We propose a mutual defense agreement. Any species that wishes to join can do so voluntarily. If one member is attacked, all members respond. Not to conquer, but to defend. Not to dominate, but to protect. We call it the Coalition of Worlds, G1 continued. No species is superior. No species is inferior. All are equal partners, working together to ensure that what happened to us doesn't happen to anyone else. The chamber erupted in discussion. Some species looked skeptical, others looked hopeful. Many looked at humanity with new understanding. In a private viewing room, Captain Min Ho Kang watched the proceedings with Admiral Seo Yun Choi. They had been invited to the council station but chose to observe remotely, letting civilian leadership handle diplomacy. Do you think they'll accept the coalition proposal? Seo Yun asked. Some will, Min Ho replied. The species that have been threatened by larger powers will see the benefit. Others will take time to trust us, but Ambassador Park is right. We can't build security through fear. It has to be through cooperation. Strange, Seo-Yun mused. We just demonstrated we could defeat anyone in the galaxy, and now we're offering to protect them instead of rule them. That's what makes it work, Minho said. Any species can conquer through strength. Only a truly civilized species can show strength and choose mercy instead. Back on the Valorian homeworld, Lieutenant Hae-Jin Song walked through the capital city with a small Valorian child beside her. The child's name was Kixon, and he had lost his father in the war, a ship engineer killed when his vessel was destroyed. "You killed my father," Kixon said quietly. It wasn't accusatory, just a statement of fact. Hae-Jin stopped walking and knelt down to the child's level. "Yes, human weapons destroyed his ship. I'm very sorry for your loss." "But you didn't have to," Kixon said. "Our leader told us you wanted to destroy us all, but you stopped. You could have killed everyone, but you didn't." "Because your father wasn't our enemy," Hae-Jin explained gently. "He was following orders, doing his duty. Our fight was never with people like him. It was with the leaders who chose war over peace." Kixon looked up at her with large eyes. "Humans are confusing. You're scary but also kind. How can you be both?" Hae-Jin smiled sadly. "Because we learned to be. Where we come from, Earth, we fought each other for thousands of years. We learned how to be very good at war, but we also learned why peace is better. We learned that being strong means knowing when not to fight, and when fighting is necessary, how to end it quickly without becoming monsters." "Will you teach us?" Kixon asked. "Will you teach Valorians to be like that?" "If you want to learn," Hae-Jin said, "we'll teach you. Not how to fight, but how to defend yourselves. How to be strong enough that no one will attack you, but kind enough that no one will want to." She stood up, and they continued walking. Around them, the city was recovering. Human aid workers distributed supplies. Valorian citizens began to rebuild. Life continued because humanity had chosen to preserve it rather than destroy it. 3 weeks later, the Galactic Council formally approved humanity's coalition of worlds. 17 species joined immediately. The Valorians, now with new civilian leadership, became the 18th member. They wanted to learn from their mistake, to rebuild as partners rather than conquerors. Supreme Commander Thexlar was found guilty of unprovoked aggression and warmongering. His sentence was exile to a remote colony world, with a requirement to study Earth military history and write educational materials about the cost of arrogance and the danger of underestimating others. He accepted the sentence without complaint. In his first report, he wrote, "I learned that true strength is not in how much damage you can cause, but in how much damage you can prevent. The humans defeated us not by being more violent, but by being more disciplined, more strategic, and ultimately more merciful than we could imagine." Ambassador Ji-Won Park stood in her office on Earth, looking out at the blue sky. Captain Minho Kong had come to deliver his final report. "The Valorian fleet is officially disbanded," he said. "Their military shipyards have been converted to civilian production. Their weapons development programs have been redirected toward defensive systems only." "Good," Ji-Won said. "And our forces?" "Returning to normal readiness levels. We've shared some of our tactical information with coalition members, enough to improve their defenses. Not everything, of course. We still need advantages if someone else decides to test us." Ji-Won nodded. "Do you think they will? Test us again?" "Eventually," Minho admitted. "There's always someone who thinks they're different, that the rules don't apply to them. But next time, they'll know what happened to the Valorians. They'll know we prefer peace but excel at war. Maybe that knowledge will be enough." "And if it's not?" Minho smiled grimly. "Then we'll teach them the same lesson. Quickly, decisively, and with as much mercy as the situation allows. That's our way now. That's what it means to be human in the galactic community." Ji-Won turned from the window. The 5-Hour War. That's what they're calling it across the galaxy. Let them, Minho said. Let it be a reminder, not of our cruelty, but of our capability, not of our desire for war, but of our ability to end it when necessary. He saluted. With your permission, Ambassador, I'll return to my duties. Granted, Captain. And Minho? Jiwan said, using his first name. Thank you for ending it the way you did, for showing the galaxy that humans can be warriors without being monsters. That's the only kind of warrior worth being, Minho replied. He left quietly, returning to the work of building defenses that would hopefully never need to be used again. In the vastness of space, the galaxy had learned its lesson. Humanity had arrived as newcomers, been tested by arrogance and aggression, and responded with devastating efficiency and surprising mercy. The 5-Hour War became legend, studied by every military academy and diplomatic corps. The message was clear. Humans preferred peace, valued cooperation, and believed in justice. But if forced to war, they would end it swiftly and completely, with the skill of practiced warriors and the restraint of civilized beings. The silence that fell after the Valorian Declaration wasn't the silence of death. It was the silence of understanding, of respect, and of a new era where humanity stood not as conquerors, but as guardians, where strength served peace and mercy defined victory. That was the true lesson of the 5-Hour War, and the galaxy would never forget it.